Michael is with us. Michael's in Tampa, Florida. What's up, Michael?
Hi, Dave and George. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure,
Here's
man.
my question. I'm in the market for a small compact truck. I'm 38 years old. My wife and I are recently in baby step 7, and about 6 months ago became an everyday millionaire.
Way to go!
Nice.
Thank you. It's been fun. I've been looking at a new truck that's going to hit the market this September or October, which will retail for about $20,000.
Is that that little Colorado?
It's a Ford Maverick. It's
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
a
I
new
saw
one.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So because of my personal thoughts on cars, I've kind of sworn off buying a brand new car probably ever. However, with the current COVID situation and the supply and demand related to inflation, I'm afraid that this vehicle in 2 years, if I were to buy a 2-year used car, will cost about as much as it's retailing for today. So my question is am I being impulsive considering a new car? Should I go forward with that, or do I simply need to go take a cold shower?
Well, you told me you're an everyday millionaire, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this car is $20K.
Yes, sir.
That sounds like a real small portion of your world, and you've done really well for yourself. I mean, we hear people who are in debt who want to buy a $50K truck. And so you guys have put yourself in a position to win, and I don't see any reason you can't pay cash for this truck, brand new.
Yeah, it just eats at me a little bit.
It's just the emotional
taking a
factor?
depreciation hit, and I guess just kind of related to that is what are our thoughts on the inflation factor with the shortage of supply and demand over the next 18 to 24 months.
Well, the supply-demand problem was created by factories being shut down by COVID, okay? And so there's a shortage of new stuff coming off, and when the shortage of new stuff coming off rolled its way down into the used market, it created a shortage in the used market, and both of them have shot way up in cost. So the auto market is among many of the markets that were disrupted by people not going to work and building stuff at factories. And so the answer to your question is, as soon as they're all back to work and the supplies starts to even out, the prices are going to even out. And so I don't think you're going to continue to see this level of inflation in used vehicles because there's going to be a supply of new vehicles offsetting it, and just like there always was. So they just got to catch up. It's already catching up. It's not as bad as it was 3 months ago. It's the same thing happened with lumber and houses. It spiked way up, and there's all these jokes about lumber is more expensive than gold, and that was true for a little while. But the lumber factories are catching back up, and that's going to calm the new housing market down, and then that's going to calm the used housing market down. It's not going to cause it to depress or go the other direction, but it's just going to smooth it out. And this was just an unusual anomaly following a shortage of supply demand. So I don't think that enters into your equation, dude. It's a $20,000 truck. You got $1 million. You're not being impulsive. You haven't done anything impulsive in 10 years.
He needs to have some fun.
Buy the truck. This is why you do this, man. You're a millionaire. You can afford a $20,000 truck. If it burns to the ground and you have no insurance on it, 3 days after you buy it, your life doesn't change. The ratio of 20,000 to $1 million, your life doesn't change. George is exactly right. It's a small part of your world, which is where depreciating assets should be if you want to continue to build wealth. And so that's why it's dumb to buy a $50,000 car when you're have a negative net worth and you make $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
It's not dumb. It's beyond stupid and crazy, but people do it every day on payments. You're at the other end of that spectrum. So if I were you, if I woke up in your shoes, I would buy the truck. Sweet that little truck's sweet too. Have you seen the website on it, the Maverick?
I'm tempted, and I'm not even a truck guy, but that's a great price point.
Yeah.
And he's done well. I've noticed this. This has been a theme. The people who are really responsible have the hardest time making these purchases because it's emotional for them, because of how diligent they've been and how well they've done financially. They feel bad. And I want them to go, hey, you're winning. Now's the time to do those kinds of things. Have some fun.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What happens, though, is he's been so diligent, as you said, and your brain gets locked in that groove of being frugal. And that's the magic that got us here. And we don't want to abandon that. And so it's hard to loosen up. And the only way I've been able to loosen up is I do two things. One is I increase my generosity, which seems to give me emotional permission then to enjoy some of the money personally.
Yeah.
But on top of that, then I just make sure it's an amount of money, if I set fire to it on my kitchen table and it just burned up, that I really wouldn't change my life.
You'd be okay.
Then you're okay. It's a small, like you said, it's a small part of your world.